In this video, we'll look at how to achieve level 4 detailed perceptive responses in the reading sections for GCSE English Paper 1 and Paper 2 reading sections. We'll look at how to achieve a detailed response that is based on situations, specific situations and moments. What is the big picture? What is the underlying message, the moral of the story? And making sure that you flip the quote as well. And there's two sides to everything. So let's begin. How to achieve a detailed response. We've got to move up the mark scheme. So we're going to go from level 2, which is a comment, which is just telling me what I already know about the story, to our passing levels, level 3 and 4. So for level 3, we must explain why. We must clearly and relevantly explain the story and the writer's opinions and the characters, using your own opinions. And your own opinions are much more vital than quotes and terminology. They're there to back up your opinions. You must have that. You must go well beyond the quote. And to do that, you must say a lot about little. And then to achieve a level 4, we've got to analyze and question the quotes and question the motivations of the characters and the message of the story. And to do that, we must achieve the following 3 things when we're looking at detailed responses. Firstly, a sophisticated use of subject terminology, a very detailed, good use and a varied use of language and structural features. Lots of short quotes that embed your clear and correct answers, and detailed, fully explored opinions with a really deep reading of the story, having short quotes that you have lots to say about. Once we've achieved detailed responses, we can look at how we achieve perceptive responses. And the first thing you need to realize is that all stories, paper 1 and paper 2, are about specific situations, moments, memories and experiences of somebody's life. So for paper 1, although they're characters, you should always treat them as real human beings. And how these characters move through their lives from moment to moment, place to place, and situation to situation, who they meet, why they meet them, the mood of the story, as it develops, and a good discussion of and realization that characters are always different by the end of the story than they were at the beginning. So what changed and how? In paper 2, writers are sharing their opinions and thoughts and memories. It's for you to understand how and why they felt the way they did in those moments. So a good look at those situations and moments and thinking, how does that person feel? How does that writer feel in that moment? What do they want me to take away from the moment that I have read there? So no character in paper 1 or no writer in paper 2 is always one thing. They are never just simply happy or sad or good or bad. Moments and situations in people's lives bring out different complex emotions. One minute someone can be positive and happy, the next minute distrustful and sad or regretful or scared. Please track that as you go through for perceptive. Think about what the writer is really trying to tell you. It's not just the story, the sources that you're going to get on the day at the exam. What's the story really about? What's the big idea, the moral or the message of the story that as a reader you are taking away? Try to think of the abstract idea behind it. It may be about family or friendship, love, war, hate. It could be about anything. So have a look behind the words. Is it about nature or about our history or where we're going in the future? But remember that all stories are about people at their core. These people are writing stories to share moral messages with you, themes and ideas, how we treat people, our history, our future. So think about not just clearly explaining the story, but what's the underlying meaning of the story itself. Also, look at all parts of your quotes, all parts of the story that you are looking at in detail. While a story may follow a central idea or a central person through, there's always cause and effect. If someone or something is behaving badly or is a bad situation, please track back to find the cause of those situations. If we look at paper 1, if Zoe wasn't on the mountain, she wouldn't have been caught in the avalanche. Same with Jake, of course. If we look at paper 2, if Orwell hadn't let his curiosity get to him that morning and gone off to see what the elephant was doing, he wouldn't have gathered the crowd behind him and then be caught in this very tense standoff an intimidating standoff between the calm elephant, what he perceives as the innocent elephant, and the intimidating crowd. And if Bartlett had treated Jumbo better, he may have understood his needs better of being free and outside rather than cooped up in a cage that he's always smashing. So think about two sides to quotes and think about the story overall. Try and flip the quote and flip the story. See it from another point of view, and that will allow you to be perceptive, because not everyone in every argument is always right or wrong. Sometimes, somebody's right, somebody's wrong. They're both right, they're both wrong. There's many different ways to look at something. So try to take a step further back from the story so you can see all of it. Take a look at your quotes and flip them, look at them from a different perspective, and it can open up a new avenue and a new doorway to extra marks as you go through. If we have a look at a paper 1 example of a level 4, a perceptive and detailed analysis for question 2, language features, we have sophisticated terminology, we have a range of quotes, and we have mostly in purple there, mostly the student's analysis of the writer's thoughts. So the writer presents a linked image starting with alliteration or alliterative snow and silence through to the extending metaphor of a complete arrest of life and a rehearsal and a pre-echo of death. Describe Zoe's feelings. The repetition of the words snow and silence and use of everywhere suggests that she feels at one with the surrounding expanse of unspoiled whiteness. This feeling of absolute purity and stillness is described as a complete arrest of life, a metaphor for Zoe's feeling of moving from the natural world to the spiritual world. So we're moving up here to perceptive because we're seeing that Zoe has such a powerful connection to the mountain at the beginning of the story that it's a spiritual connection that will stay with her forever and that will change the very meaning and course of her life after this moment. And we're backing up that theory and those thoughts that are perceptive of the story with lots of quotes to back it up and lots of terminology as well to show the students' learning. If we look at a paper 2 example for the summary question of perceptive and detailed, we've got a good perceptive analysis in purple there of the students' thoughts, which are backed up with the blue bit, the inference of similarities. So the elephant in Saussure appears to behave, not does behave. It appears to behave in a violent and destructive way by taking fruit as he raided the market stall. But his behavior is instinctive, as there is no other way for him to survive without food. In fact, both elephants behave in a conscious way to achieve their aims, showing how intelligent elephants are and how they are misunderstood by their owners and keepers. In source B, the elephant destroys the doors of the cage, which confine him. This suggests his behavior is both rational and deliberate, motivated by an attempt to escape from captivity, as he was perfectly quiet as soon as he was able to be free. The elephants aren't simply just destructive. They are destructive because of that is the effect, which takes us back to what is the cause and who is the cause of this destructive effect. And we can track it back to people, and the mistreatment of the animals by people lead to this destruction, because one animal is starving and breaks free from its chains to get fruit, and the other one is breaking up the cage of his home in London Zoo because he wants to be outside, and they can't keep him in the cage if it's broken. They must let him outside. Both animals are calmer when they get what they want, so they are not always violent. There's always two sides to everything. So if we go back to our beginning slide, please think about a detailed response. Take your time, answer it fully. Think about specific moments and situations and experiences as the story progresses and develop those ideas. Think about the big picture. What's the story about overall? What is the moral message or the big idea that the writer is trying to share with you? And flip the quote and flip the idea of the story so that you can see how everyone in the story plays a part in it. The story is not about one person, but it's also about the other elements of the story that come through, the other people, the places, the themes and ideas. So don't discard anything, so that way you can achieve a level 4.